Welcome, Earth travelers, to the 30th episode of Astrology Roadshow. I'm Laura Kane, your host. Thank you for tuning in today as we honor the sign change about to get underway for planet Uranus. This magnificent outer planet is transiting from Taurus into Gemini. About a year ago, we experienced the same transit, compliments of super social planet Jupiter, which has just recently exited Gemini and progressed into Cancer. Jupiter advances one zodiac sign every year, but Uranus's transit within each sign takes almost 8 years. Also, the effect from Uranus going over this similar terrain promises to put a very different spin on the experience. In this episode, we will examine how Uranus navigates the change and hovers for an entire year over this critical end and new beginning. We will ponder the end of Uranus energy within Taurus and explore what's on tap in Gemini. Then take a brief look at horoscopes to reveal how this sign change in transit will reveal much and contribute to upgrading each of our life journeys. Before getting underway, now would be a great time to subscribe directly to this channel if you haven't already. Your viewership, as well as likes and shares, are much appreciated. Astrology Roadshow will always keep you up to date on the latest astrological trends we experience and show how they fit into our individual and collective evolution. Okay, as you may know, Uranus, modern ruler of the air sign Aquarius, behaves in unpredictable and innovative ways as it transits and aspects other planets in real time and engages with our charts. It is considered electric and represents a frequency that opens us up to the future and quickly changes our inner and outer world. It is the champion of technology. Uranus's effects include sudden upheaval and permanent changes within our culture and individual lives. This permanence is because it is one of the outermost planets and takes its time deliberately, making its message clear through each sign and with the help of continual interplanetary aspecting to it. Keywords for both Aquarius and Uranus include progressivism and humanitarianism. You may be one of the lucky ones to experience its entire orbit and therefore each zodiac sign's influence during your lifetime, just about 84 years. Keywords representing earthy Taurus messaging encompass certain archetypical traits that are quite different than Aquarius. And yet some, such as fixed characteristics, show commonality. Uranus's transit within Taurus during the past 7.5 years had both of these different zodiacal energies digging their heels in. In other words, stubborn to their own mission. Nonetheless, the two worked together and we managed to see changes that proved out the marriage of their time together. One great example of this achievement is how the technological innovation achieved during the past 7 years resulted in some of the best gains the stock market ever experienced in the sector. A great example of how their mutual stubbornness is witnessed would be when more radical social agendas have been standing up to collective traditional values. Today we have reached the end of Uranus's time in Taurus and arrived at the critical 29-degree mark. We may very well see evidence of their marriage on steroids for instances such as both of these examples. The stock market technology sectors may experience a rocky rise up to new heights and expect there to be differences on display, showcasing conservative battling progressive societal values in all areas of our world. In Gemini, Uranus will be a party compared to the energy experienced from its time in Taurus. Aquarius and Gemini are both air signs, meaning they share a love for communication and forward thinking. Of interest in astrology, Uranus's frequency represents a higher octave of Mercury. Mercury is Gemini's ruler. Energy will be very conducive for all sorts of thoughtful communication and a variety of ways to achieve that. There will be much adventure and progressive experimentation toward AI functionality, especially within social media. The collective energy will not necessarily lead to results and profits, but exist more so for purposes of advancing ideas and humanity. We will experience jolts along these lines, complements of sudden Uranus magic. Gemini energy will contribute even more uncertainty going forward due to its mutable nature, especially as compared to the predominantly fixed nature and energy during the Taurus transit. We are now in a 1-degree orb approaching Gemini's critical 0 degree. This twilight zone for Uranus and us will continue through most of next year and include its exit from Taurus and initial and final ingress into Gemini. Because of retrograding, there will be a 3-time pass over this doubly critical area. Episode 26 of Astrology Roadshow explains the importance of all planetary retrograding. The 29-degree area of any sign will prove out the masterful and total energy of the sign, and the 0-degree area ingress is where we experience a sort of all-encompassing flash forward, revealing what will occur ahead of the total transit experience to come. For all practical purposes, this is now underway. Here's what to expect as far as exact timing on all of this. Forewarned is forearmed. Your awareness will help make the most of it all. Uranus arrived at critical 29-degree Taurus this 3rd week in June 2025. It enters critical 0 degrees Gemini just 2 weeks later, on July 7th. Then stations and turns retrograde on September 6th, 2025 at 1 degree Gemini, 28 minutes. It then revisits critical 0, going backward through November 8th, 2025. And goes into 29-degree Taurus again soon thereafter and into December, the end of this year. Uranus stations and turns direct on February 3rd, 2026 at 27-degree Taurus, 28 minutes and re-enters Gemini on April 26, 2026. Essentially, this whole exercise has it in critical territory near Anaretic 29 and critical cusp 0, now through most of springtime 2026. That's just about a year of super intense energy and much critical thinking. The retrograde has us doubling down on the intentions of these energies. During this entire time, Uranus is with an orb of favorable aspects with the other more outermost planets, Neptune and Pluto, both of which are also experiencing zodiacal sign changes. This is a blessing, and it is described in previous episodes. It will make it more obvious to the collective consciousness that we are now in an evolutionary mode that has never before been experienced. Let's briefly go through each rising sign to see how the pathway from Taurus into Gemini shakes out in our natal charts. As always, please contact ars@astrologyroadshow.com for assistance. The 29-degree mark will occur in the house ruled by Taurus in natal charts. The 0-degree mark, if not using whole house theory, will also occur there. So we will experience this through the lens of Taurus and how that sign and house in your chart helps to pave the way. We will sometimes be experiencing total submersion into the future. The 0 degree will be revealing to each of us how the entire upcoming transit journey might play out, ultimately for the best. Also helpful to keep top of mind for this particular transit experience, communicating innovative ideas will be a good way to foster those changes that are happening in this area for you. Aries rising has the Taurus-Gemini cusp occurring naturally in the 2nd house of wealth, values, and given talents. With this placement, Gemini is naturally ruling the 3rd house of communication. Uranus will have no trouble taking the expression of all things Taurus and applying this toward different forms of communication. Resources will therefore lend a big assist in those upcoming changes. Taurus rising has Uranus' transit occurring in the 2nd house of resources. The cusp takes place in the 1st house of identity. The way you project self-expression will play an important role in helping promote and make positive changes to your wealth, natural talents, and other personal resources. Gemini rising will have the transit occurring in the house of identity, while the 12th house is host to the cusp. This house is about spirituality and what remains mostly unconscious. This will therefore lend an almost undefinable spirituality and dreaminess to your projection of self. Cancer rising has the cusp of Taurus Gemini occurring in the 11th house, friendships and group associations, as well as humanitarian efforts. The Gemini transit will occur in the 12th, so the associations you have, particularly those associations beneficial to the collective, will be the catalyst for positive change regarding your sense of spirituality. Leo rising natives will have their house of Taurus located in the 10th, which represents ambition and reputation. This means the cusp is here and the transit is beneficial to the 11th house. Your ambition and reputation will bring about humanitarian work within groups you associate with. Virgo rising people have Taurus located in the 9th, and therefore the cusp with Gemini is there. The 9th house encourages us to think lofty and aspire for higher knowledge, as well as travel and adventure, often of a spiritual nature. Your 10th house will benefit from your work in this area, and this will feed your ambition as you become recognized for your growing knowledge. Libra rising natives have the critical cusp in the 8th house, which represents secrets of life, such as death and rebirth, as well as assets that are shared or that come from others. It will pave the way into the 9th. Those sorts of resources will assist you in your quest for gaining more spiritual and higher knowledge, as that is what the 9th represents. Scorpio rising folks have Taurus in the 7th, the house of contractual partnerships and relationships. Your current most important relationships will be the source of sudden changes relative to shared resources or transformation that occurred, such as a death. Sagittarius rising will have the 6th house paving their way into the 7th. The 6th house is all about routines as you go about your day-to-day chores, and also your daily job routine and how that is a service to others. All of that will create an opportunity for important relationships to evolve. Capricorn rising will have Taurus ruling the 5th house and Gemini the 6th. The 5th is all about your creativity, sense of romance, and children. These areas will be an impetus for changes to your routine and create a path for how you will go about being of service to others. Aquarius rising folks have Taurus located in their 4th house of home and core belief system, while Gemini is in the 5th. Your home environment and the beliefs you hold dear will provide for or play a role in new things you will be creating. Finally, Pisces rising has this transit taking place in the 4th house of home and core belief system. The cusp occurs in the 3rd. Communicative efforts and the local environment will hold the key to new developments about to occur in the 4th house arena. That wraps it up for now. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed and feel inspired from increased awareness and equipped to lean into this intense transit. It may be sometimes difficult to accept some uncertainty along with major shifting as part of our evolutionary process, but there is much to be hopeful about, especially with all the interplay of positive energy at work alongside this. So keep the faith. Blessings to you and your family and friends as we experience what will hopefully be a super exciting and safe time for all of us to go forward in this ever-changing and connected world. Again, appreciate your subscribership to this channel and hope to see you at the next episode.